JT to karate, and I'm like, hey, what's for dinner? And she's like, oh, there's a roast in the crock pot. Okay, why don't you make some rice? Okay, dude, I get home and there's like 5 dishes in the sink, and I can't make a pot of rice with fucking dirty dishes in the sink. Like in my shop, if there's fucking tools everywhere, I can't work on anything that has nothing to do with the tools that are out until they're put away. It's an obsessive compulsive thing. I know exactly what.
It's I'm not by any means a fucking neat freak. I'm not. I'm kind of like, and I hold on to shit like I don't need to hold on to. Like I've got my grandfather's clothes in the bag from the hospital with his slippers, his underwear, everything still in the bag, hanging in the closet in there for no reason. I just can't bring myself to throw it away. It's like, man, I can't throw my grandpa's fucking clothes. I mean, that's the shit he died in, but I just can't throw it away. You know, I just can't throw it out. Well, I mean, my Wet and Willie videos, that's my grandfather's jacket, my grandfather's hat, my grandfather's glasses, my grandfather's tie, my grandfather's bib overhauls.
See, you'll always find a use for it, man, and definitely sentimental stuff is really super hard to throw out.
Well, it took me a year and a half. This room that I'm sitting in right now was my grandfather's changing room. It's right across the hallway from the bathroom. My grandparents, my grandma slept in the bed in the next room over, but my grandfather always slept in his recliner because he had malaria when he was in the service. He got contracted malaria. And once you have malaria, that's it for the rest of your life. You're always going to feel fucking cold. You know what I mean? You get the slightest bit of chill, you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my grandfather struggled. He was, that motherfucker, it'd be 90 degrees outside. He'd be sitting on the front porch in the shade, and he'd have a jacket on.
Yeah.
You know, but whatever the case may be, this room used to be my room. My grandparents, when they got older and I moved out of the house and, started my own family, because everyone knows my grandparents raised me. This is my childhood bedroom, my office, what you're seeing now.
Yeah.
As some would refer to my little office, because I'm like big time. I'm not fucking lumberjack cool like this fucking yum, but I'm fucking. But
dude, that's the set. It's just like we talked about. That fucking drywall does not go to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably some backyard shit porch of Seth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seth, yeah.
I noticed.
It's like the moon landing.
Seth, you put the door on the wrong side this time. Okay?
Yeah.
Stars or Earth.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well, this room. It's a little room. It used to be bigger because these doors. My grandmother insisted on having a closet made out of cedar, so I built her a closet with cedar. It's all cedar inside. So her and my grandfather could come out of the shower because he used a walker. He could come out of the shower, go across the hallway, sit down, and dress himself, and not be. You know what I mean? It was a lot easier. So, that fucking room that's all jacked up in my house, used to be a garage.
Yeah.
My grandfather built a floor over the garage floor, like 2x6 joists, and then put a subfloor down, and they called that the game room. That's what hillbillies call the living room, the game room. So the game room is where we watch TV and listen to records and read, and you know what I mean. That's where my grandparents spent most of their time. That's where my grandfather slept. But that motherfucker is a shit show in there right now.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
Fucked
You want to
up
hear
from
something
water.
Cool?
And it's just some simple shit. You know what I'm saying? Simple shit. Before we get to get going.
Not want to buy a house, man.
Well, I tell you what. I've only been in this. I've lived in the house before. My grandparents lived here for 40 years. I bought it. I've been here a year, and it's been nothing but a fucking nightmare since I moved in. It's one thing after another. It's one thing after another. Just as soon as I start spending money to make it my own, something fucking happens. You know what I mean? Every time.
Yeah, I'll tell you a cool story. My wife's family from New Hampshire, from New Boston, New Hampshire, dude. New Boston is like the fucking Waltons. It's like you step back in time. There's a general store there.
Yeah.
There's no anything there. And her grandparents or her great grandparents settled on 700 acres, and her grandfather was born in the house that was built in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
He was delivered in the house by a midwife, and he died in that house. He never lived anywhere else his entire life, and he lived into his late 80s. Isn't that freaking wild?
That's
if
nuts.
you think about it.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Never lived anywhere else, dude. Never.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it is.
So this is
like that, man. New England's like that. Like I find people all the time I do work for that are like third generations owners of houses from like 1810, 1820.
Well, if you think about it, I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I've lived here. I was brought home from the hospital to here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool, though. You know what I mean? Like, not many people.
Yeah. What people don't realize is I know this neighborhood like the back of my hand, and if some shit was to go down, I'd be running around this bitch like the Terminator. I know everywhere to go. You ain't getting around. You ain't getting away from me, and I'm armed and dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So this is Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio episode. I don't know, but it's Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio. We're here with Mark and the sexiest man in window cleaning. Seth Byers? That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Lumberjack. He's Lumberjack on the weekends. Motherfucker looks like the brownie guy. I like how Seth comes on the podcast trying to sell us fucking paper towels. You know what I mean? What the fuck?
Paper towels?
Tim was
I
gonna.
had date night tonight.
You have or had?
I already had it.
Oh man. I was about to say, why'd you fucking agree to do this if you had date night? You're not going to get married that away.
No, we're like old people. We have dinner at like 5:30.
Ah, okay. Well, that makes sense. Well, yeah. I haven't eaten dinner yet. My family sat in the living room in there for 2 hours trying to deliberating on what we're going to have for dinner. That's what happens when me and mom and dad don't make the decision, like when we wake up in the morning, what we're going to have for dinner. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
We're going to have something taken out already?
Yeah. So, this is a weird day, isn't it? This is September 11th. So, I'd like to. I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful and go like conspiracy. Hey, man, there was rockets. I'm not trying to do any of that shit. But it was a pretty fucked up day. I remember exactly where I was at. I remember exactly what I was doing. You know what I mean? I remember all of it like so vividly. When I was, I want to say in my 20s, between 21 and 24 or 5 years old. Around, I don't know. Was it 2001? So that was 17 years ago, correct? Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
17 years ago, so... I was 22. I was 22 years old. I was working for a local hotelier, a guy that owns multiple hotels. I was hired as a carpenter and he brought me in on the maintenance staff because I'm certified in Ohio to run and operate pools, like large pools, like thousands of gallons of water. I know how to do all that shit, the pumping, the water treatment, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, I'm really good at pumping. My grandfather was a journeyman plumber, and I spent all of my spare time mowing the lawn and fucking doing plumbing work. So, I had a few tricks up my sleeves that I knew how to do a bunch of shit, and I just met all this guy's needs. I could frame anything from blueprints. I could plumb anything up to state code, and I could run swimming pools up to state code. So I hit all the markers on the head. I was a young punk kid, and I was in charge of like 12 hotels. All the maintenance, you know what I mean? Which is crazy. But, like I said, growing up with old, my mom and dad, they were young when they had me, so my grandparents pretty much were my stewards in life. And growing up with someone from a way far back generation, like Great Depression era, you kind of get a maturity level that some people won't get because you're given more responsibility at a younger age because they had more responsibility at a younger age. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually, a lot of my friends, most of my friends are a lot older than me. You know what I mean? Because of that, still to this day. That's probably why me and Mark get along so well, because I feel like I identify with him, and Seth is just a sex object to me. But, I was at this hotel. It was near a turnpike, the Ohio Turnpike, and I'm working on this toilet. And there's a clean Jennifer, actually, she worked there too. She was pregnant with our middle daughter. She was on one end of the hotel, I was on the other, and I was in the room working with this older lady. She was cleaning the room, and she's like, "Did you see what's on the TV?" And I said, "No." And she said, "A plane just hit the World Trade Center building." And I'm like, "You got to be shitting me." So I'm standing there. She's sitting on one bed, I'm sitting on the other, and we're sitting there watching this. And all of a sudden, while we're watching on television, another fucking plane hits the other building. So as soon as I seen that, I looked right at her. I was like, "That's not an accident." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "There's no way that can be an accident." I was like, "That was a big fucking plane that hit that building. You know, that's a big explosion. I think we might be under attack." And then the longer that we sat there, we found out that a plane went down to Pennsylvania, and then a plane hit the Pentagon, and there was another plane over Cleveland that they thought, or something, you know what I mean? I don't know. The first thing I did was I got up and I went to go find Jennifer. I was like, "We got to go." You know what I mean? And we were getting ready to walk out and leave. And my boss is like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "Well, there's something going on television. They're saying there's terrorist attacks going on. I'm going fucking home, bro. I'm going to the AR-15, cuz. That's where I'm going." I'm going to get food and water, and I'm about to hole up, because you never know what's about to go down, you know, because I'm crazy from way back, you know what I'm saying? I'm way back crazy. I'm like Y2K crazy. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to die, homie. I read all the books. But, I don't think I mean, everyone, you know, I don't think this generation for sure, that's this newer generation, this last 17 years, I think, or actually probably 15 years, this last 15 years, I think people have lost touch with the kind of happenings that go on in the world, the kind of shit that can change your outlook on everything, that make you worry about your neighbor the way you haven't before.
Dude, you just said it all right there. That's it.
Yeah, I think that day right there, and which is crazy, is how much it's changed since then. When that event happened, September 11th, when that happened, that brought the country together. It didn't matter if you were disenfranchised with fuck the police, or, you know, I don't know if I'm a cisgendered Labrador Retriever, transsexual, Pokemon. You know what I mean? It was, you know, it didn't matter. You had the American flag newspaper, because every newspaper in fucking the country printed an American flag in their paper, and everyone had it duct taped to their fucking window. You know what I mean? We were stood together in solidarity. You know what I mean? And I think the youth, the last 15 years, people have lost sight of country. It doesn't have to be. Yeah. It doesn't. And we're of course we're not all gonna fucking agree. But one thing we can agree on, and one thing that we are, is we're all fucking Americans. And I think people have lost sight of that.
I think you're right. I was washing windows, and the planes went in, and a guy that worked at the building I was working at, he said to me, matter of fact, remember I told you the story, I used to get that free ammonia where they made blueprints? It was that job. And like one of the CFOs, I walked in to watch the inside of his office, and he had a TV on, and he goes, "Hey man, you got a minute? You got to see this." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, because I was working, you know, cell phones were minimal at that time. It was a flip phone. There was nothing like, you know, no information. And
lean to
and
your
I was
right.
just like, holy shit. And then you're right. The amount of patriotism that followed 9/11 and brought people together.
There you go.
This way.
There you go. All right. Go ahead.
And
now you're too far over. There you go.
It brought it brought people together, and now I'm almost wondering, like you said, if there, God forbid, was another 9/11 type attack, would there be the same patriotism? And
well, I can tell you right now, I don't think the recruiting center is going to be full. My my cousins, which are they're maybe 7 or 8 years younger than I am. No, I think Josh was 18, so that means maybe Josh is like 4 or 5 years younger than me. Josh, my cousin Joshua, when he saw it, that motherfucker went straight to the Marines recruiting center and hopped on board. He was like, "Fuck that, we're gonna go fuck these motherfuckers up." You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys did that. You know what I mean? A lot of guys did that. I think if I wouldn't have been, I think if I didn't have a child and then another one on the way, I probably would have done the same. Because I felt it. It burnt me up, man. I was so fucking mad. You know what I mean? And when, thinking about that, I made a couple of friends in the window cleaning industry that are from the Saudi Arabia and those, those parts of the world. People like to paint with broad strokes, you know what I mean? And it, you want to go fuck those motherfuckers up, you know what I'm saying? But after you see the aftermath of what they was just fucking, we went over there and just wholesale fucked up people that didn't even need fucking up. They weren't even fucking responsible for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, George W., he went over there and fucked shit up. You know what I mean? Have you guys ever like wrapped your head around, the fact that, the retaliation to that, what happened on 9/11, which, I feel like, in a way was justified. It was just the gun was pointed in the wrong fucking direction. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But have you ever wrapped your head around, we went and did the same thing to someone else? You know what I'm saying? Which is fucked up.
It was crazy, man. I remember I was a senior in high school. I was in second period when we heard about it. Mm-hmm. All the TVs, we all went to, I think, to our homerooms because we had TVs in the homerooms. And we went there and I remember just sitting there watching it. Everyone just kind of, like you said, there's no social media. There's no way to contact your parents. Like, I don't even think I had a cell phone.
Yeah, that wasn't, a lot of people don't realize that.
Snake on, you know what I mean? And you couldn't bring it to school back then. And I just remember my dad was in New Jersey when it happened. Mm-hmm. And so I heard like the day or two before I had talked to him, I thought he was in New York when it happened. And so I just remember like freaking out, trying to get a hold of my mom to find out like where my dad was, like what was going on. And just, it was probably the most unsettling event that I can remember. It's like when my parents talk about the Kennedy assassination.
Right.
That's how I feel like this was like our moment, or for people, between 30 and 40, it was that kind.
Yeah, it was our moment in history. Yeah, that shook the country to the core, something. But to be honest with you, man, I know, like you just said, you were in high school. I was out 3 or 4 years, so you may or may not remember sitting in the living room and watching Desert Storm. I had a Desert Storm sweatshirt. I think I still have it somewhere here in the house. The shirt you get at Walmart would be like Desert Storm, would have a big eagle and a couple flags and lightning and shit. You know what I'm talking about? You guys remember that shit? Yeah.
That war was televised.
That was a televised war. So that I remember that. I remember there was.
I remember Waco. I remember watching Waco every day.
Man.
I lived in Georgia at the time. I remember watching that every day. My dad and my mom were like glued to the TV with that.
Mark Tanner's got like the most fucking traffic on it. So I can't believe how popular are you. How many are you cheating on me and sending fucking farts to other guys?
No, you're the only one that gets that.
All right, I better be, motherfucker.
I heard one in the group. It's pretty.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That's pretty impressive.
I tried to do one this morning, Seth, and he's like, "That was a bunt. That's bullshit." Like I can't listen. Like.
I don't know how you don't shit. Like that part sounds like me taking a dump.
Yeah. He says you got to have sphincter control.
I really don't have that.
He's like, I'm a sage. I'm a veteran farter. Like I could sit in bed and rip the longest, loudest farts, but as soon as I grab my phone to record it for Mark, it goes. It's like, come on, man. God damn it.
What I do. When I always have.
I walk around with a microphone in my ass.
No. My alarm goes off at 5 a.m.
He's got an even shorter guy with a microphone that follows him around.
No.
Fa la 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 la.
All right. So I save them up.
Oh,
I'll store them. They go into the containment.
Right.
And then I'll get in the shower. I put my phone up on the windowsill, and I do my thing. I take my shower, and within 10 minutes, it's time to evacuate. So I prepare accordingly. So those are generally 3 to 4 farts melded together to make one beautiful vicinity. But I will tell you, fuck.
That's why immediately I liked Mark, was because the man. How old are you, Mark?
He's
I don't want to guess. 50?
The connection. He's lost his connection. He's coming back.
Huh?
Yeah. You might have to go without your video or something. What you need to do is you got Wi-Fi at the house? Is that what you're on?
Yeah.
Is the Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I'm saying, is your phone connected to the Wi-Fi?
No, probably not. But I have Wi-Fi in the house.
Well, what I'm saying is if you have you might want to. I mean, you're in an aluminum fucking building, for Christ's sakes. You might want to go buy a Wi-Fi booster and plug it into your shop there. Hey.
I have a booster in the house, but my house is about 200 feet away from the shop, so it's a good distance.
Right.
But it never was a problem in the past.
Yeah, but I don't know why you're having a problem tonight. You're not affected by the hurricane that's coming in, are you?
No. Oh, okay. No.
Well, Seth, you can continue. Seth, you can continue with your line of questioning on how old,
Mark,
how ancient is Mark?
Are you 50?
Yeah.
All right, I was going to say, that's what gives me hope. I'm 34 years old, and you still laugh at your own farts.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I mean, and what's even, if you read even further into that, is that this man is even gone the lengths to be like, I want to be able to record farts in the shower. So he's taking preemptive measures to record farts in the shower.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Right. Well, I think that's what me and Mark, I kind of gravitated towards Mark through the group. I met Mark in Pro Window Cleaning, in WCR's group. That's how I met Mark.
Yeah.
All those years ago. Mark would always say the things out loud that I wanted to say. And I was like, man, I'm just going to say what Mark says. Everybody likes Mark. He's, you know what I mean? And he just says whatever the fuck he wants. So all this T-Squeegee, outlaw window cleaner, always talking shit, it's all Mark's fault. So all the hate mail can go to Mark.
That's fine. I'm cool with that. But let me explain one thing to you. TJ, you have those farts on your phone. Here's what you got to do. Go into a public restroom and go into a stall. And then you wait for someone to come in and start setting them off. Because that's fun. Hearing the reaction. You hear someone go, oh boy.
It's I tell you, man, to get back get back to what we were talking about, because there's only so much window cleaning we can talk about. But, and I will actually loop this all back around into window cleaning as we're talking. I don't know if you guys have ever watched it before. I mean, you may or may not have. Have you ever seen the Nick Cage movie, World Trade Center?
I don't think so.
You ought to watch it. Because that movie is fucked up. And the reason why I say it's fucked up is it's not so much the day, but it's what those particular guys went through. They were the two guys that were I think one of the few survivors from the thing that were in the building when it collapsed. They actually survived, these two dudes in the rubble, and some guy watching on TV in another state, former Marine, seen it. He's like, just had to come to Jesus moment. He's like, I'm fucking going up there and fucking helping. And he's in the rubble. He actually found them. I'm fairly certain, because in the movie it says straight up in the beginning, this is a true story. So these two dudes were saved by this fucking guy watching television. How fucked up is that? He was just like, Like his initial reaction was, I want to get in my fucking car and drive up there and I'm going to do something. I got to help. I got to do something.
You know, there was a window cleaner in the building that used a squeegee. They had to break through drywall.
Squeegee handle to cut through that fucking 2 inches of fucking drywall. Saved people.
Look, this is only my opinion, and I'm not making light or joke of it. But I'm glad that was an old school window cleaner, not one using a Mormon or a wagon.
Yeah! You couldn't do that with no fucking liquidator. You're fucking yum. So, if you want to fucking escape a collapsing building, make sure you hang out with T Squeegee, because I got 2 brass Unger squeegees in my gunslinger. Oh, dude, I might be talking out of school here, so I'm not going to give too many details, but there's kind of like, they've kind of talked about it a little bit. The new little doodad from Richie, his new bucket, his newest in the line of his buckets on a belt. That motherfucker is titties and beer, dude. It's pretty badass. He showed me they showed on the live stream, they showed a little bit of it, you know what I mean? But he's getting it kind of wrapped up so he can have it he's going to try to have him, one of them, or something to show at the grand opening. Are you still going?
Yeah, I already, I was actually going to ask you if you ended up booking a hotel room or are you staying, being, Airbnb?
Well, for the guy, I'm thinking I might stay at the Airbnb the Friday night. And then I think Saturday I'm just going to get my own room. I don't know if I'm going to get my own room. Josh Schultz going. There's a whole bunch of guys going. So if you want to, you can, from what?
I grabbed a room just like
Where did you grab a room at? Right across from the
Holiday Inn.
Okay, so
everyone kept telling me to go to.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go there.
That, and my flight gets in mad early on Friday morning. Like I fly out of Boston at like 6.
Okay.
And I think I land at like 8:30 or something like that.
Oh fuck. We probably won't be there until like 12 hours later.
Yeah. I was just like, well, I guess I'll just like kind of wander around. I rented a car just to make it easier because it's 45 minutes from the airport there, and I'm like, I'm not Ubering. I'm not.
Well, I think we're going. I think we're actually going to pick Richie and his wife Hydrate Up from the airport. So.
Yeah, let me know if they get in early or something like that, and I'm around.
Cool.
I don't mind grabbing them. Yeah.
Cool, man. That's sweet. We'll use that. Richie will watch this podcast, so if anything, so we have a backup plan. So I don't think we'll need it. Because we're gonna leave early too. So all I know is I don't know what Tim and Josh are doing. Tim and Josh said they're going. My buddy Jason Snyder, my childhood friend who's been on the podcast, he's talking about he might go no matter what. I told Seth I would be there. I told Perry I'd be there. I told Richie I would be there. I'll be there with or without those 2 bozos. So I will be there. If they're not going, that just means I'll leave earlier. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
So
it's got to be tough for like 3 business owners to try to find a time when the hell you can get out of there on Friday.
Well, I tell you what, me, Josh, and Tim have been doing this for a hot minute, and me and Tim have still yet to meet each other. And we've never met each other in person. We've never met.
Live like an hour and a half from each other or something like that?
He lives in Columbus. I live in Sandusky. It's about 3.5 hours or so.
All right, that makes sense then. Yeah.
Joshua lives in Cleveland. Josh is about 45 minutes from me. Now, Josh needed some help in the middle of winter on a construction clean. I actually went up to help Josh. That's when I first met Josh in person, and me and Josh spent a couple of days together. So me and Josh really get along pretty famously. We're kind of like the same dude. So I'm super stoked that Josh is going. I'm not to say that I'm not stoked that I'm anxious to get to ride in the car with Tim for 10 hours and we'll be able to really, just look at what we've done over the phone. Can you imagine once we get together and start bullshitting? You know what I mean? It's only going to... Oh yeah. There's going to be... I plan... I'll say it here. I'm planning on doing a little documentary type deal. Maybe 30 minutes to an hour of my whole trip there. Hopefully... I'm not... No pressure, but I would really like it if Mark is there. That'd be awesome. If Mark's there, it may turn into a porno.
if I go and it's looking like I'm going to be able to go, I'll be pulling a page from Cessbook because I'll rent a car and get a hotel room. Probably not in the fucking Holiday Inn because there's already a bunch of window cleaners there.
Oh, come on, dude. Okay. What a dick.
You'll be lucky to see me near that Airbnb that has to be actually aired out.
Dude, I've never stayed. I'm old school, man. I've never stayed in an Airbnb. I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's just like someone's house rented out, man.
It's someone's house rented out, and it's famous for having penis cameras and shower cams and stuff like that. Yeah.
Listen, I ain't worried about that. Hey. No, as soon as I seen the beds swing from the ceiling, I'm like, dude, there was some fucking debauchery going on in there, bro. You guys can sleep on that, cause I'm. But what's cool is if all the guys that are coming into town, like Henry or something like that, guys that can't afford to get a room or something like that, you know, if I get there Friday fucking night. And the only beds that are the only beds to sleep in are the ones that swing from the ceiling. I ain't doing that shit, cuz.
No, here's what you gotta do, Jim. Listen to me. Hopefully, Henry. Well, you can make your own decision because there's plenty of pranks.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So, Mark, you gonna fly out or drive?
I'll fly. Yeah, for me,
it's too far of a hike. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather fly out for a couple days and hang out and fly. I'm not a huge fan of flying, but I would not.
2.5 hour flight for you?
Yeah, about 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah. No, it'd be a trip out and a break. You know, get away from this for a few days and meet some people that I've been, you know, looking forward to meeting. I think that would be good. And I think that it would be fun. You know, I mean, I think TJ is. I know this about TJ. He's probably not much different in person than he is on a podcast or on the phone. So I know at least this. TJ and I will be laughing our asses off.
Oh yeah. You guys seem like you're pretty much the same dude no matter what. So
yeah.
I imagine you guys are gonna be pretty funny together. So
yeah. Well, the only difference I have is when I'm in front of a customer soliciting a job. You know, I mean. Yeah. And then when someone gets to know me, they're like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. No, I know how that is, man. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you're in the Fort Lauderdale area, right?
I'm in Palm Beach, so I am about 40 miles north of Fort. I'm working in Fort Lauderdale for the last month on a big job, but I mean Fort Lauderdale's not that.
That's what I saw. I just didn't know if you were from there or whatever.
Yeah. No, I've gradually moved north as I've gotten older. I grew up in Miami, and then I moved into Broward County, and then when I got married and bought a house, I moved to Palm Beach because this was the only place you could have some property, you know, and I wanted land. And
you're not getting that in Miami or Fort Lauderdale.
You ain't getting that. Yeah, there's no land left down there. Everything is built up like a postage stamp of land down there, you know, is about all you can get, you know. And when we bought up here, everything is 1.5 acre or 5 acre parcels. So I wanted to have a shop. I wanted to have you know, a place where I could come home with a pressure cleaning trailer or whatever and park it in front of my house and no one was going to say anything, or a boat or, you know, whatever. And that's pretty much the gist of where I moved to. It's a rural community on dirt roads. So I like it, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I could see that kind of fitting you. So it's
yeah.
It's funny. I fly to Fort Lauderdale. I go to Fort Lauderdale every year. I go down for a week every year. Yeah. I go on a golf trip with my old man and my uncle who's in his 70s now, but we go every year for a week. It's fun.
Really? Well, when you get down here, you got to look me up, man. We'll at least go to lunch. I don't play golf, but where do you play golf at down there?
So basically, we kind of pick like a different area every time because you know how it is in Fort Lauderdale. You can drive, 15 miles and have 45 different golf courses.
Yeah.
So we either I either go there or I go to St. Petersburg. But if I'm playing like February, I usually go to Fort Lauderdale because the weather's always good.
Yeah, definitely.
It's freezing here, so it's just anywhere's nice to be in New England.
Yeah. My brother was stationed in Boston, so I was up there visiting him. That was before he moved to Texas, so that was 8 years ago. And then my other brother, he lived up there for a while, and he came back to Florida. And then I spent 4 weeks working on Martha's Vineyard out there.
You told me that. Yeah, Martha's Vineyard's beautiful. That's like one of the first places I ever worked. That was my first summer job ever. I used to take the boat over from the Cape every morning. And I think I must have been, I don't know, 15, 16?
Yeah. It's dude, there's turkeys all over that place. They were giving me a tour, and I'm like, holy crap, y'all don't hunt turkeys? And they're like, oh, you're a hunter? When you come out here, you can shoot a turkey. And I'm like, I don't think you're going to be walking around this place with a gun too long without getting arrested.
No, it's fun. Yeah, man, I walk out of my shop, and there's a tree right outside that, like, 8 or 9 turkeys nest in every week. Yeah. It's just littered with turkeys everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that when I was in Martha's Vineyard. I liked it out there, and there was some talk of bringing me back out because the house that I worked at, I think I did 230 windows for scratch removal, and then before I left, they did an inspection and found like another 80 windows, and then they got on my shit saying, you didn't do these 80. And then when we pulled out the blueprint, I'm like, those are never marked. You know, I bid this job based on you giving me a blueprint of the house with an X on every window that needed to be fixed. I said, so I did 230. The bid was initially for only 200. And now you want another 80, and I want to go home. You know, that was the longest I'd been away from my family ever, you know? So it's like
4 weeks is a long time.
Yeah. What's that?
4 weeks is a long time, and especially on that island, there's not a whole hell of a lot to do. Yeah, I mean, there's a few like divey bars and stuff like that, but if you're there off season, it's not a ton of fun.
Well, see, here's the thing, Seth. When I went, it was end of winter, so it was beautiful out. You know, long sleeves and a t-shirt were great. It was 50 to 55 degrees. One day it rained, but other than that, it was nice out. And it was a new experience for me, not the scratch removal, but obviously working in a cold climate, doing what I do, where heat and friction is part of the process, wondering how everything was going to react, A, and then B, they gave me a cottage on a house, or an estate, I should say, that they gave me the little cottage. It was an apartment, basically.
Yeah, it's like the maintenance house. Yeah.
Yeah, and a truck. And that house rented out for like $18,000 a week in season. It was beautiful. It was on a lake, and they're like, there's a boat if you want to go out. And I said, let me work a couple days and see how long this is going to take me, because I was, you know, it was intimidating, you know, because I had a timeline. Not only, you know, I could have changed my flight back, but I had also a family and a business to run here. And so that was part of the challenge. And I said, let me see what I can get done in 2 days, and then I can set my timeline based on how long I'm here and how much I have to do every day. Well, I'd get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd be on the job at 6:15, and I would work until 7, 8 o'clock every night, because they gave me the keys to the house, turned off the alarm, and left me alone. That was great. You know, nobody was bothering me except for some carpenters came in and removed some wood trim off some window frames so I could get scratches along the edge. But I was a zombie, so I took off one day to watch some football and relax, and I just couldn't live with myself. I'm like, I got to get back to work. I was nervous to meet the timeline. You know what I'm saying? So I did drive all the way around the island one time just to check it out and take some pictures. And it was like going to summer camp, though. You know, you go to summer camp and it sucks, and then you come home and 3 months later you're like, man, I wish I was back there. Yeah. That's exactly what it was, you know. So it was a great experience, and you know, I'm hoping. Well, they were going to do a cost analysis as to what it would cost to get me back out there versus you know, replacement, and I should know something within the next couple months. But I'd gladly go back, and I would be better prepared because I know what's in store. Like, my wife had to send me over more materials and stuff because I was running out, and you get nervous. Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
I got to eat my dinner.
Kids munching some za, bro. But yeah, man, if you come back or whatever, let me know. I'm probably 40 minutes to where the boat is to get over, but I love going over to that island. It's good
so
time.
have you guys kept the podcast going while I was gone?
It was much more interesting. Go eat your fucking pizza.
I'm just trying to figure out if I need to fish through it to weed out bad time or something.
No,
but I should have known Mark fucking talked the whole fucking time. So
no, Seth and I had good conversation, pizza boy.
Yeah, it was. Kid is
well,
hammering.
Don't let me fucking interrupt you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Seth, you missed Fort Lauderdale used to be a booming spring break town with unbelievable party on A1A, and they knocked that stuff off in the late 80s because of
A1A Beechwood Avenue. Girls getting hot. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, definitely when you come down, if I don't come back up there to work.
Did you have a drop top? Did you have a drop top 5.0?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not a convertible guy. I had an 87 5.0 coupe, a notchback with the trunk, and that car.
So
get
you
me
were
in
a
trouble.
buster.
Yeah, but I've always had trucks. I've had 1 or 2 cars in my life, but everything.
Gunshots rang out like a bell. Grabbing 9 other hardwood shells, fall in on the concrete. Where's Tim at when you need him?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like Tim must have been like the biggest Vanilla Ice fan.
No,
like
dude,
ever.
No. So have you ever seen the karaoke?
I haven't.
You haven't seen Tim do the karaoke, the Vanilla Ice karaoke?
No,
I'm sharing that to the group. It's so good. You can't let nobody else see it though. It's private, but it's private to certain people. If you can be trusted with it, if you guys can be trusted with it, I'll send it to you because it's fucking epic. Tim at the IWCA went hard body karate. He sang some Bon Jovi. Tim's actually got a really good voice. He can actually be a lead singer of a gay hair band.
I think I might have seen Tim because I went to that convention for a day, but I don't think I was in this group yet when I went there, so I don't think I knew who he was. But I remember seeing Perry there. But I heard stories of like people the night before going wild, and so it must have been him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stood right next to Tim, and we made some small conversation, but I didn't even know who he was. That was the funniest part. It wasn't until I came home, I'm like, holy shit, that's Tim.
I almost came. I almost not like, I mean,
I thought that's what you meant.
I almost went. But this asshole said he didn't say he was going. So if I would have known Mark was going, I would have went.
Well,
my wife said it was okay. My wife said I was allowed to go.
Honestly,
I asked her first, and she said yes. So whatever.
Hey, TJ. I watched one of the videos that you recommend. Well, you didn't recommend it, but you were talking about it. And now I see what you're saying. I saw somebody holding this sack with a water bottle. Oh, and, oh my God. Oh.
The grocery bag?
God. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Dude. It was like watching paint dry. Yeah. Oh my God. How fucking boring is that?
That he's.
And you can put your dirty rags in here, and you can put your clean towels in here, and then this water bottle, it doesn't leak when you turn it upside down.
I'm like.
It's got a one-way valve.
Yeah, you know what? These guys.
It's a new innovation.
Yeah.
Oh, a water bottle.
And a Whole Foods bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can take a Joy bottle after all the soap's out and a Whole
Do the
Foods
same thing. Pretty much the same thing.
Get it done.
Dude, I have taken a water bottle.
Here.
A drinking water bottle.
All you need is this bag of popcorn. You can put your dirty towels in there.
And it's done. Yeah. Oh, my God. Those guys, you know what they are? They're dollar store window cleaners. That's what they are. Dollar store window cleaners. Fucking
yeah,
worthless.
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
It's massive overthinking. It's massive overthinking. It's like
there's an extreme need for content on his channel. The problem is I don't, he only does it part-time, and him doing it part-time is not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with you doing it part-time. He just presents himself in a way that's, at this point, got himself into trouble because he doesn't have the chops to do what he's trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So now he's just making shit willy fucking nilly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he did a video where he went to, traveled to wherever. I mean, he might have been there on business or whatever, but he must have took his window cleaning tools with him, and, or he lives by it, but he went to Gas Monkey Garage and cleaned the windows at Gas Monkey Garage, where, you know, where they go and they buy shit and stick it on cars.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Fuck Richard Rawlings. That dude's fucking lame as shit.
Yeah, I saw about half of that video. I had to shut it down because my first thing is, you showed up at Gas Monkey Garage. If you think you're going to run into Richard Rawlings or any of the guys on TV, it's just like it's like going to Pawn Stars.
Yeah, if you think you're going to come to the Reach It grand opening and meet fucking T Squeegee and fucking Mark Tanner and Seth Byers, you're fucking crazy, bro. We're going to be in the back. We're going to be in the back at the bar, standing at the back door, standing around a keg of beer.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
Hammered.
Hammered, fuck. I'm not. Maybe Saturday I might get into a couple of brewskis. I might get into a couple of brunaskis. But outside of that, I'm the type of person that I am not letting my guard down around you guys, because this could all be a conspiracy for you guys to get me out somewhere by myself. I can tell you this right now, there's a good chance you might get shot if you fuck with me.
Well, I can tell you this. Perry getting a 16-bed Airbnb, I would be a little cautious too if I were you.
Dude.
2 pairs of underwear. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, everybody in this Airbnb, you sleep on your stomach with your underwear on backwards.
Well, Perry's weaseled his way out of it. His wife's coming, so he's staying across the street. So.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool in the gang.
The only thing I'll say is, that's very generous, Perry. I hope you don't have a large security deposit on that place.
Well, I told him maybe a couple days after he and, we all decided that we were going, that I wasn't. I was like, I'll probably stay there Friday night, because there won't be nobody there. But Saturday night, I'm not staying there.
Yeah.
Friday, I don't think I'm going to give too much of a shit because I'm going to be so fucking tired from driving. You know what I mean? But Saturday, I'm going to be up, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. You know what I mean? So. What size shirt you wear, Seth?
Extra large.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, what's up? Eyebrows, my friend. Dangerous.
Yeah, so, all right, this is a great podcast, man. We'll see you guys later.
We got pizza in.
Yeah, I got the pizza in. Actually, we've actually got a couple of emails. If you guys want to read a couple of emails right now.
Yeah, what you got?
We can read a couple emails. Let's see here. We got an email here from James Brown. James Brown asks, he says, well, this is what he says. He says, I am seeking information on water-fed pole systems. A local supplier can sell the Unger Hydropower Stage 1, entry 20-foot aluminum pole, 36-foot of hose, rectangle brush, 2 jets, angle adapter for $790.90, tax included. Add the 10-foot extension for $110. I am seeking to take more market share and to actually charge for cleaning the window on a house washing projects. So I'm assuming he washes houses and wants to start cleaning windows. I really want the Tucker dual trim nylon brush and rinse bar, which a supplier online can get me for $850 total, but it is WCR.com, and I know you guys don't like this company. I really want the Reach It poles, but that is for the future. Budget is $800 to $850 total, max height 30 to 35 feet for cleaning 1 to 2 story homes. I already have several jobs booked and would love to save some time. My business is 25% window cleaning, 50% house washing, 25% concrete cleaning. Any information would be greatly appreciated. I love T-Squeegee, and I've got a pink heart. It says, thanks, Jim.
Well, I'll tell you.
Spritna exterior cleaning. I can tell you this right now. For $850, you can have a Reach It Mini with a constructor brush and do exactly what the fuck you're looking to do. 1 to 2 story homes. So you don't have to wait on the Reach It poles. I'm not saying you have to get a Reach It pole, but you can get the Mini right now for $7 something.
So
right?
Does he do traditional window cleaning now, and he wants to add this?
No.
No, he does no window cleaning, and here's the issue that I know a guy that tried to do the same thing. He's a pressure cleaning guy. And matter of fact, he bought my ABC modular pole and I explained to him that if you don't know the fundamentals of window cleaning, putting a water-fed pole in your arsenal of cleaning tools is not going to make you a window cleaner.
No.
Number one. Number two, if he really is dead set on a Tucker brush, and I prefer the Reach It, but if you can buy directly from Sean, you don't need to go to WCR.
Yeah.
Number three,
RHG products, check it out. Make sure you're going to the right site, because fucking WCR's got a fucking clone site up.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to go directly to Sean Gavin and Reach Higher Ground, RHG. Get the direct deal. You can probably get a Reach It Mini and a brush and more hose that can be expanded.
Well, see, and then that's the thing. That's the thing with the Reach It. If you go and buy a Reach It Mini right now, Jim, the Reach It Mini comes with the brush. It comes with hose. It comes with everything you're going to need to start out with. All you have to do is go to your local water softener guy and get a fucking DI tank. And how much is that going to cost him, Mark? You know, I mean, if he just ran it through
you can get a mixed bed. I don't know how many cube it is. Those guys know the cubes,
right.
But a small mixed bed tank for $200-$300. But you can also finagle a deal with Perry and get one of those small little white tanks with the chrome top on it.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sure that Perry's
and Perry's always making deals. If you reach out to Perry, I'm sure Perry will fucking do you right, man.
Yeah.
I think your price tag at $850, Perry most likely will fucking be able to help you out with and set you right out the door. He's probably got a package. All you got to do is ask him, hey, I'm looking, this is how much I want to spend, and this is what I need to do. What can you do for me? And I'm sure Perry will help you, buddy. But I know for a fact right now, if you go onto the website, the Reach It Mini with the brush and some hose and the power control handles, the prism glasses, the whole 9 yards is like $700, dude. So you still got $150 to work with.
And here's the thing. Even if your pole is a little bit shorter, it's not aluminum. You don't want to start off with something you really have much more of a learning curve when you got an aluminum pole. And look,
you're going to have hard enough time. You're going to have a hard enough time getting the windows clean, right?
Yeah, well,
with a good brushing pole. I'm not saying it's got to be a Reach It pole. If you want to go RHG, you can. That's not a problem. The only thing I don't dislike WCR. I don't dislike Chris Lambrinides. I mean, I think he's kind of shady, but I just don't. I think you can get shit cheaper. He doesn't like the fact that I like to say that, and his crew of cronies likes to bust our chops about it, but. There are cheaper options out there, and there's nothing wrong with the Outlaw Window Cleaner podcast saying you can go somewhere and get it cheaper. It's not that I dislike him. It's just he's got to fuck a markup on his shit to make money. You know what I'm saying? And if you're on a budget, you don't have to buy from that fucking guy. You could buy direct from the supplier. You can do that, and it is cheaper.
Here's the thing. Even if you can get it from WCR for his, let's say $899, $850 that he's got to spend, why not, if you're going to spend the $850, why not get as much for your money as possible?
You possibly can, yeah.
I mean, get more stuff.
That aluminum pole and brush, I mean, that's going to be a fucking shit show, buddy. You're going to have so much deflection, it's going to be hard to get pressure on the glass, and that's key. You need pressure on the glass with a water-fed pole. I'm not saying you need to be, like, bearing down on it, but you want some good contact on the glass to get the glass clean. That is imperative. And the rinse is key. What's Mark doing? Oh, there's the doggy. Oh, the doggy.
Yeah, that's my boy Brady.
But that's imperative, Jim. My suggestion would be is to reach out to Perry, tell him your budget and what you're looking to do, and I'm confident Perry will take care of you. Reach out to Sean Gavin at Reach Higher Ground, give him your budget and tell him what you're looking to do. He may be able to help you. Whatever you want to do. The dual trim Tucker brush is it's a slick brush. Marks out of frame. The over the top rinse bar is cool. But the hydro blade is the titties and beer. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a douchebag or nothing like that, but I think it gets a bad rap. And the constructor brush, you're going to have that brush. You can, for $20, you can order new bristles for the fucker and rebuild the brush. If you want a new dual trim brush, you got to buy the whole fucking brush. And I know it ain't $20. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's a good brush. It's a good brush, but it's a throwaway brush. The constructor brush is not a throwaway brush.
I mean, listen, you're going to do it. You know, you might as well spend the money where it's well spent.
Yeah. And then in my
opinion, I really feel like anybody who gets into window cleaning should learn traditional, though, too, as well. It's just, there's a lot of applications where the water fed works, but
you're going to run into instances where it's not going to be.
Where it's where you maybe they have too hard of water, or especially when you're power washing and stuff like that, all that water dripping down the whole time. Yeah. It's going to be tough to. I think to get free.
And this is the thing.
Use chemical chlorine.
If you're just wanting to rinse the windows after cleaning the house, that's one thing. You know what I'm saying? But if you're actually selling cleaning windows, you're gonna want to go buy a mop and a squeegee and learn how to do it traditionally, just so you have a grasp on what it's gonna take to get the window cleaning clean. Because there's pressure washing window cleaning, and then there's window cleaning, and there's two. Some pressure washing guys are gonna have a fucking fit, but I'm telling you, it's a lot different. Because I deal with pressure washers, like, we just blow the windows off, they're clean. And then they look like fucking dog shit. You know what I mean? The rinse with water-fed pole, buddy. The scrubbing of the glass is key, but the rinse is even bigger. The rinse is key. So remember that.
Here's some advice, okay? I'm not taking the sale away from anybody, but in 2004, I met a guy at the trade show that I was sitting in a row of seating in front of him. We started talking about pure water window cleaning, and it hadn't exploded in 2004 like it is now. There was a lot less options. 90% safe to say even Reach It wasn't around at that point. It was the old brass Tucker brush,
we had an aqua glass pole, fiberglass, fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, we used to, when I worked with my dad, we had the 45-foot original Tucker brush that weighed like 1,100 pounds. And we used to do buildings with it that were out of reach, but we didn't have a pure water system. They weren't available to our knowledge. And we'd do the shade. We'd always work in the shade to keep the sun from drying the windows, and they'd come out better than they were. And then I heard a guy in the trade show talking about pure water. So I just kind of spun around in my seat and I said, can I ask you a couple questions about the pure water? And he told me about the DI tanks, which was what was available at the time. And I was doing an estate home that was nothing but cut-ups. And what I would do is I would take and soap the windows with a mop, no squeegee, rinse them down with a garden hose, and then just take the water drops off with a dry squeegee, right?
Yeah.
And it was tedious. It was taking a long time, but the customer was happy. I went and bought and found a guy local here that leased the DI tanks. I didn't even buy one. He kind of rented it to me for 2 months to see if I liked the way it worked. So I got this, DI tank. And then, believe it or not, I went to the auto parts store and I bought a car wash brush. Those brushes, the water flows through them. And I put a brass valve on it and I'd shut it way down so it was just trickling out enough to rinse. And I was getting amazing results. That's what I did before I bought my first pole. So I had a tank that I rented for $50 for the month. And I had a $3.99 car wash brush to see if it was even going to fit into my.
Yeah.
I had already a traditional window cleaner for 10 years at that point. So then I started adding to it. And the guy, Jim, that bought my modular pole no longer tries to clean windows behind his pressure cleaning because there's more of a learning curve, even though it's water-fed pole. And that's why I've said buying that doesn't make you into a window cleaner. And
no.
you gotta learn all the aspects.
But I can tell you this right now, and this is just from my experience. When I started in 2005, we had a IPC hydro cart.
Yep.
And that's a 5-stage cart, and the pole and brush that we had sucked so fucking bad that even though we had one of the best pure water machines on the fucking market at the time, I don't think you could do much better than that 5-stage hydro cart in 2005. It was the fucking bee's fucking knees.
Well,
we still didn't use it.
But it's still one of the best out there.
Mine's from 2005. That motherfucker is 13 years old now, and I'm still making G's with it. So but I'll tell you this, it was rendered almost ineffective because of the pole and the brush. The pole and the brush is important. You got to think, you can use a DI tank and fucking gravity-fed water, the whole 9 yards, but the key to this shit is scrubbing and rinsing. And if you got that pole, a heavy-ass pole or a flimsy-ass pole in your hands, it's going to fucking suck, and your results are going to suck. And it's going to take you forever, and especially if you don't know how to clean windows. He wasn't really specific in his email on whether or not he's cleaned windows traditionally, but my suggestion would be go to Detroit Sponge and get yourself a mop and a squeegee, and spend like maybe $20-$30 and get your shit email, and then get on your house and wash your own windows by hand, and kind of get a grasp of what it's going to take to get the window clean, for you to sell that to someone. Because you don't want to be like, well, I clean windows too, and then go and not have because you're going to get, it's going to fuck the rest of your business up. If you do shitty work there, people are like, this guy can't clean windows for shit. I bet you he can't wash a house neither. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, if you go into a house and do pressure washing, and you're a brilliant pressure washer, and you suck at window cleaning, and you've put a package price together, chances are going to lose both.
Right.
Here's another thing you can do. I mean, he's obviously done some research into product. He can always and it sounds, and if he knows someone in the industry that is a window cleaner and uses a pure water system and traditional tools, go spend the day with the guy. Yeah. Don't ask for pay. Yeah. Say, I'm going to help you whatever you need me to do. I want to see how you do this and experience it, and then go do your thing. Right. Because it might not even be for you. You might say, you know what? I'm only getting another $200 to blow the windows off with this. It's not worth it for me. I'm just going to continue with my pressure washing.
And on a closing note on this email, if I encourage you to shop around, but if you want to spend your money with Chris Lambrinides and the WCR gang, then by all means do what you need to do, buddy. We don't look down on you. We just like to have an informed public. And this ain't Nazi Germany, so we let people know what's what. We have another email here, and it's from Bennett SHFD2, and it's T Squeegee. Where does Mark get his jorts? Asking for a friend. So, Mark, where do you get your jorts? Where do you purchase your jorts at?
I'm going to show you something.
Oh, here we go. He's going to get up on a ladder, guys. Oh no, he's not. Hey, listen. I have ruined Mark's jort life. Mark no longer wears jorts because of T Squeegee.
I know. That's your fault.
Yes. No more hammer loop.
Oh my God. I said, next time you're in town shopping, can you get me some shorts? She says, what do you want? And I said, I want cargo shorts. Oh, like the boys wear. My kids wear them. And I go, yeah.
I told you to ask your kids what was cool.
Well, then, no, what happened was after we had that conversation, I was working with one of my guys, and I look over, and I'm like, I never pay attention. They wear, the company T-shirt, and they wear shorts. And I look over at one of my guys, and I'm like, he's got cargo shorts on. There must be something to this. So I still have my jorts. If I do come to the grand opening, I'm bringing my jorts.
All right. Yep. It won't be a party unless you bring your jorts. We have another question for the podcast, and this one comes from the Acme Window Cleaning Company. First, I want to say I enjoy the Bigfoot moments. Perhaps we could do a poll on the video Thinker Thunker put up on the white Bigfoot. So I'll put a link to the white Bigfoot in the description, and then you guys can go check it out, and then we could talk about it with some email questions in the next podcast episode. So if you guys are listening to this, go to Thinker Thunker on YouTube and look for the white Bigfoot video and watch it, and then send us some fucking emails about it. And here's the rest of the email. It says, also, my other question is, how come no one ever talks about spiders? Those things are nasty. How many times have you cleaned a grip of windows only to find out one of them critters is crawling up your back? The only way you noticed it was because you happened to catch it in the reflection of the glass when walking away. Then you start jumping up and down trying to get it off your back, and of course, in that exact moment, a hot chick is walking by looking at you like you're a weirdo. Just saying. So let me start off by saying I was never afraid of spiders. I never had problems with spiders. My old lady hates spiders. I grab the spider off the wall and smash it, or grab it in my hand and throw it out the door. Whichever worked the best, or throw it in the toilet. Whatever worked the best in the moment. If I could get to a place to throw him outside, I'd throw him outside, let him live. You know what I'm saying? But I started cleaning windows with John, and the guy I bought the company from. I started cleaning windows with John, and we were doing this dentist's office. It was an optometrist. We were doing his office out on an old country highway, and I'm going through the bushes, and I'm cleaning windows, and I'm getting ready to, I'm unloading, taking all my stuff off, and then Jeremy's like, he's like, dude, what is that? And I'm like, what? And I look, and crawling up my neck is this big, fat, fucking bellied fucking spider and I grabbed, dude, and ever since then, dude, I'm like arachnophobic. I fucking hate spiders. You know what I mean? I hate them now. They creep me the fuck, ever since that happened, they creep me the fuck out. Now, did you know they say that they say people swallow, people swallow spiders while they're sleeping and don't even know it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that.
That's
you swallow
bullshit.
a certain amount in your lifetime, they say.
Whatever. I would feel it. I would feel it.
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you have them up there. We have a spider here called the brown recluse. You have them up there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got bit by a brown recluse. I was working in an office building, and I was going through the bushes, and I felt something almost like a sting on my forearm, and I smashed the spider. I was like, what the hell? And I kept looking down on it, and within an hour, it was the size of a golf ball with literally eating a hole in my skin. I went to the doctor, and he said, yeah, I was a brown recluse, this and that. He gave me a butt ton of antibiotics. By the time I got home, I had 102 fever, okay, not for 3 days, but I was sick for 3 days. And the doctor told me, he says, you're going to have to stay out of work for a week. And I'm like, I can't miss work for a week. And he goes, here's what happens with brown recluse. You get bit. He goes, that was a small spider that got you. He goes, you'll have a scar on your arm. He says, the fever is going to break. If you go out and exert yourself, it's going to relapse. And that's exactly what happened. I went back to work 4 days later, and the fever came back. I went home sick, cold sweat, just horrible. And we also have these spiders here called banana spiders. Mm-hmm. Dude, they'll get this big. I mean, they are
that huge. Man. Yeah. See,
yeah.
we've got wolf spiders up here, and those fuckers get real big. Those motherfuckers get big up here. Those wood spiders. Oh yeah, those you can shoot those with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Could you imagine fucking living in a place where they got those bird killing spiders, some motherfuckers that are like fucking this fuck that, bro. Spiders? Yeah, fuck that shit, bro. Fuck that shit, bro. How about you, Seth? Do you like spiders?
I'm more afraid of ticks around here than spiders, personally.
Yeah, you guys got ticks real bad up there, don't you?
The ticks are like you can get bit, have no idea, and die in a couple days. Like it's
wow.
It's no joke around here. Yeah, you can get fevers to like onset dementia from it too. Like there's just some of the ticks around here will cause some like serious issues. But the spider.
So where do you live? Yeah. Where do you live?
I live like near Cape Cod.
In what state?
Massachusetts.
Oh, fuck. I fucked
Yeah,
up.
it's just in this area they're gross, but the spider eggs in the garage transoms gross me out more than spiders do. It's just like as you're trying to sweep them out, you're just crushing them in the corner. It's gross. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, no,
I don't. I don't think. I don't think there's ever been an instance where I've encountered a spider since that I haven't been a fucking complete girl about it. You know, unless it's around the house with the wife and the kids, then I'm okay with it. But when I'm out working by myself, if there's a big ass spider on the window, I pull out the extension pole and fucking. And I go to what do you call it? Home Depot, and I buy those web dusters.
Yep.
Those Unger ones that stick on the end of the pole. I'll use those maybe, I don't know, I'll use one maybe 3 or 4 times. I'll throw it in the bed of the truck. Once it's got enough spiders on it and webs on it, I'll just throw it in the garbage and go buy a new one.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even fuck with them. It's gross, man.
Dude, I got a kid who works for me. He's 6'3", 245, and will like run out of a garage, like arms flailing, like an 8-year-old boy coming out, just like there's spiders in here. I'm like,
dude, the dude that I start, my best friend Jeremy, his fucking the guy, his brother owned the company. This motherfucker, dogs, like. We would pull up on a job site. He wouldn't get out of the car. If there was a dog, like a Labrador, lick you to death dog, he would sit in the truck petrified. You gotta put that dog up. You gotta put that dog up. He had a real bad stuttering problem. So bad. Hey, first time my cousin met him, we were standing in my cousin owns a rental company, and he's standing at the counter, and me and Jeremy walk in, and we're sitting there bullshitting. And he's like, what are you guys doing? He goes, Jeremy's like, it's Friday. I'm going to buy me a 6-pack. And my cousin Mike's, he's like, shit, that's 18 beers. You're going to be fucking drunk. We fuck with Jeremy about his stutter all the time. But he got his stutter from dogs. He was chased by a dog when he was a kid, and he stuttered ever since.
Really?
Yeah.
What people don't understand is when you're afraid of a dog and the dog knows that, and they take advantage of it. You know, I mean, that's just that's strange. You know, afraid of any kind of dog. I don't know, man.
What do you mean?
I love dogs.
You could be afraid of all kinds of shit, man. You know, you could be afraid of spiders. You'd be afraid of dogs. Fuck, I know people that are afraid of fucking squirrels. My grandma didn't like squirrels.
Yeah.
She wasn't afraid of them. She just didn't like them. You know, you could be afraid of a lot of things, man. Shit. You could be afraid of Bigfoot. So, and this is a Bigfoot moment with T Squeegee. Weird, wicked, weird. Are we ending 2017? This is from 2017 with a pic of Bigfoot found in Maine? I don't know. Another year, a weird year is nearly in the books. As 2017 winds down, Weird, Wicked, Weird checks in with stories over the past 12 months for the latest news, twists, and developments. One slippery snake, chatty ghost in Old Port, and a new photographic proof of Bigfoot in Maine. You decide. After a harrowing few months last year, spent wondering if there was an actual... What the fuck? Oh my god, guys. Well, I just fucked up the Bigfoot moment. I fucked up.
I'll have to send you videos.
Oh, here it is. Here, I went too far. All right. It says, what is it? Oh, the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, the BFRO, last month posted online a report of an Oxford County, from Oxford County in July of 2017. A husband and wife were out walking in the woods looking for moose antlers by Lake Anashozos. What the fuck is that? Anashozos? What the fuck? Near Wilson's Mills. When they spied a 5-toed footprint about 20 to 22 inches long and 8 to 10 inches wide in a ditch. He dropped his box of Altoids on the ground for scale and shot a picture. I've been an avid watcher of Finding Bigfoot and do wood knocks regularly. Go figure. And he said, the man wrote in his sighting report, my wife looked at me and said, now I believe you. There was also a broken branch 8 feet up a nearby tree that's believed to be a Bigfoot calling card, by the way, guys. They reach up and break branches and shit, you know. It's not, I mean, I wonder where he got that from. Jeff Shepard, a Massachusetts teacher, that's why I wanted to make sure I was going the right direction here, who covers Maine as a BFRO field investigator, said when he met with them, he found the couple sincere and not out to hoax him. That's the same general impression he gotten of the dozen-plus cases he's investigated since August of 2015. So there's Bigfoot up there by you, dude. The BFRO posted another of his cases last month, this one out of Waldo County, and involved a trail cam picture captured on a hunting property in Burnham in November of 2016 and discovered several months later. Ooh. That one was really cool, he said. The trail cam was up for several days and captured birds, small animals, one single picture of a gray-black something among the greenery in the center of the screen. That looks like a simian face, Shepard said. Why would there be an ape in the woods of Burnham, Maine? I don't know. Why would there be? After walking in the area with a college student who set up the trail cam and his father, Shepard guessed it was roughly his size, 5 feet 5 inches, but more robust. So he's not a tall Bigfoot. He's more like a small Bigfoot, like fucking Mark Tanner. And it could, it could probably be it could potentially be a juvenile. It could be a small one. It could be like a juvenile. Like a teenager Bigfoot. They told me some other odd stories of things that have happened on their property, Shepard said. Hearing their names called, ghost stories, a quarry that people won't go near. I go out and look and try to report and let people decide on their own, he said. I don't know, guys. It kind of does look like a Bigfoot in the trail cam. It does. I'm looking at the pictures. It kind of looks like a Bigfoot. So there is also juvenile small Bigfoots the size of Mark Tanner in Massachusetts up there by Seth. And that was a Bigfoot moment with T. Squeegee. What?
If it wouldn't make it a Bigfoot, it's a Littlefoot then.
All right, so we did the Bigfoot moment. We always do some window cleaning talk. We answered some emails. We did some la-di-da-di-da-di. We like to party. So maybe we'll spend the last half year kind of just shooting from the hip. I know it's 9/11, and I'm not trying to go crazy conspiracy theory and like people like shot down the towers. The government flew fucking drone jets in there, which, by the way, they've had the technology to do that since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Look up Operation Northwoods. They were actually going to remotely fly commercial jet planes and crash them and blame it on the Cubans back in the 60s. That is an actual released FBI file, and government has declassified that as an actual operation to try to get America behind them invading Cuba and fucking up Castro. That is an actual thing. It's called Operation Northwoods. Check it out. So there's that. My only question about 9/11, and I know there's a lot of crazy fucking conspiracies involved with 9/11, especially like the jet fuel melting the metal beams and all that shit, which caused the collapse. I'm not even going to get into that shit. A lot of people died that day, and I think that's a little disrespectful. But World Trade Center 7 collapsing, the one building on the World Trade Center complex that was not hit by a plane or any debris, or the buildings didn't fall on it. It actually, the two other buildings, World Trade Center 1 and 2, fell. Some burning debris hit that building. That was where the emergency management system was. That's where the governor, Giuliani, that's where he would go to in case of a natural disaster. That's where they would operate out of. That building collapsed due to fire. And that would be the third building to collapse, skyscraper to collapse due to fire in the history of the world. So I could see where people kind of try to find, they're like, oh my God, how that's a conspiracy, man. No buildings have ever fallen due to fire before. I mean, the Empire State Building was hit by a B-52. It didn't collapse, and it was on fire.
Yeah, back it up, 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 back it up.
I'm not backing shit up. I'm not done talking yet, fucko. So, the buildings, the World Trade Center 7 building was not struck by anything, and it collapsed at free fall speeds into its own footprint. Now, there's people out there that think that that was a controlled demolition, and they just signed off on a huge insurance policy, supposedly, on the building, the guys that own it. There's all kinds of weird conspiracies like there, like, no Jewish people were at work that day, no Muslims were at work that day. The thermite is what caused the World Trade Centers to fall down, and they were the way the beams were cut, it was cut at an angle, it looked like molten steel, all of that shit. But I think the only thing to me that's even remotely close to suspicious is that building, and the reason why I say that is this, because I've seen YouTube videos, and I know this is but I've seen YouTube videos of the Canadian news reporting on what happened, and they 45 minutes to a half hour before World Trade Center 7 fell, they were reporting that it already fell down, that all 3 buildings had collapsed, even though World Trade Center 7 had not collapsed. There's actual evidence of they reported before it happened, which is kind of weird. That's the only reason why I think that's weird, because that's not the only news source. Even news sources overseas were reporting that it had collapsed before it had collapsed. You know what I mean? There's a guy talking about World Trade Center 7 collapsing, and it's in the background. You know what I'm saying? While he's talking about it. There, Mark's gone, so we don't have to hear his stupid-ass bullshit. About how, oh, let me tell you, because not only am I a window cleaner and I can restore glass, but I'm also a metallurgist, and I know everything. Go ahead, Mark. Let's hear what you got to say, fuck sticks. Why are you being so short with me, Mark? Why are you being so short with me, Mark?
Yeah, I'm back? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I am not, I am open to a lot of what people say when it comes to conspiracy. I try to look at it from a little bit of a different angle. Okay. First of all, you can't compare a plane crashing, two jumbos running into the Twin Towers, to even a plane of the same size hitting the Empire State Building. Empire State Building is made out of concrete. Okay. It's 2 different things. There were some young guys that had huge conspiracy theories that all made a lot of sense. And I remember buying the magazine Popular Mechanics, where they took those 2 guys, interviewed them, and structural engineers proved that it is possible for the towers to come down the way they did with the jet fuel burning in it. Okay. Do you guys have any
jet fuel?
No. Do you have any trade center memorials by you in a park? Mm-mm. No? Mm-mm. We have 2. I'm going to get some pictures next time I'm in that area, where they have 2 of the main girders where they turn them into art. Basically, they took a section of the building. It's about 25 feet high, steel girders, put a glass surrounding it with everybody who died's name. It's in front of a firehouse local to me, and it's eerie to walk up and put your hands on a piece of that building. But when you look at the way it was constructed, the technology wasn't what we have today. It's riveted together, okay? And there's I-beams that are literally 2 inches thick. And the piece that's over by me is buckled and bent in such a way that you can tell there was a massive amount of heat on it, okay? If you look at the skeleton of the Trade Center, it was an open floor plan with all the beams around the outside, and the exterior structure facade of the building was incorporated into its strength, okay? When you take a section of that out, and theoretically, if you dump 1,000 gallons of jet fuel down an elevator shaft and it's on fire, jet fuel burns at like 1,500 degrees. Steel melts at 1,600 degrees, okay? Mm-hmm. And the way the building is designed, that if you noticed when it
even
comes
if it's
down,
got fire retardant on it.
They didn't fire retardant those buildings back then. Nope. You
sure about that?
They did. Positive. I'm 90% on that. Okay. And what happened was
wrong.
Well, I could be wrong. I'm not saying there's a chance that I'm.
Weren't the trade center towers weren't they designed to take a hit by a big plane? It wasn't. Maybe it wasn't as big as that one, but wasn't it like the standard size commercial jetliner for those like in the 70s? Wasn't that like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, dude, it took the hit, dude. When you take how much does a jumbo jet weigh? 150,000, 200,000 pounds, flying at 400 miles an hour into the side of a building, and it was standing. Mm-hmm. Okay. The issue was that with the way the building was designed, as the floors started giving way, one floor laid on top of another floor. It's the whole pancake thing. As it's dropping, it's just shearing everything off below it. Okay. It almost makes sense.
So now we've got that covered. World Trade Center 1 and 2 fell, and it's very plausible that it fell due to fire and jet fuel. Why did World Trade Center 7 fall down?
That I don't have the answer to.
Nobody does. So fuck you.
Yeah. Well, you also got to remember,
what about the Pentagon? How come the plane that hit the Pentagon, they won't release any of the video of it, and there was like that plane put a big ass giant hole in the side of the World Trade Center, but made a hole like this on the Pentagon. Why is that, Mark? Mark? It looked like a missile to me, Mark.
I'm going to explain it to you. First of all, there is a video from there's a gas pump there, and there's one quick video of the plane going into the Pentagon.
That could be computer. That could be CGI, bro.
It could. No. You could probably do it. I could do it. Okay.
I mean, I seen a picture of Chris Lamborghini's head on the body of a gay man on a gay magazine. I don't know who sent it to me, but anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Look, here's the thing. This is just my opinion of it.
I've actually seen two famous window cleaners having sex with each other too. I've seen a lot of things.
Here's the thing. To me, TJ, and it's just my opinion about it, honestly, I'm sure there's a lot we don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that our government did this to our people.
I think if the government is involved in any way, it's negligence, if anything.
Well, yes, because I think they knew about it and they didn't take proper precautions. But I will say this, to me personally, to the families of the people that had loved ones on those planes, or people in those towers, or the heroes that went down in Pennsylvania, okay? It's disrespectful to them to go with anything else other than what we're told.
Story.
And I'm not saying that there's not stuff that we're not told, stuff we don't need to know, or stuff that could be
So in your opinion, even if there was some dark looming conspiracy like that Flight 93 that went down in Pennsylvania, that was initially, from all accounts, completely fucking disintegrated. No trace of this plane, just a hole in the ground, which is also another first. That's also never happened. I think a lot of this conspiracy, and I'm not a conspiracy believer here on this 9/11 thing. To me, I agree it's disrespectful, but I see a lot of it going on right now in Facebook and shit, and I thought I would kind of take I'll be the conspiracy theorist, and Mark will be like, no, dummy, on purpose. So I'm just being objective just for the sake of being objective and throwing out that the narrative that has been put out for a while about, this is this and this is that. The only thing, like I said, the only thing I find there's a lot of firsts. Those two buildings, those two skyscrapers falling down due to fire has never happened before. You know what I mean? That's never happened before. There's a lot of structural fires in skyscrapers like overseas and shit like that where the framework of the building's there, but everything else is burnt out. People like to clink. Now listen, Mark, I don't need you to interject, fuckface. Jeez, just shut up. All right? There's a lot of things out there that happened that day that has never happened before. But just because it didn't happen before doesn't mean that the Illuminati fucking paid these fucking guys off to fly these fucking hologram jets into the buildings. You know what I'm saying? People actually died from this. And I think this is the one conspiracy that there's no disputing and nobody can fucking prove to me otherwise is they allowed first responders and Red Cross volunteers to go down to that fucking site with no PPE on, and these fucking people are dropping like fucking flies to cancer.
Of course they are.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course they are. But
if there's a conspiracy, then there's the conspiracy for you. Nope, there wasn't enough PPE involved there for first responders, and a lot of people are dying because of it. That's the. Not only did a shitload of 3,486 people or 3,343, I don't know, people died that day, and on top of that, still to this day, people are still fucking dying. You know what I mean? And that's the real tragedy here is that people are fucking dead, and then there's a bunch of guys that like to get high and fucking eat brownies and get on the internet and make shit up. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I think that it shouldn't be investigated till its finest fucking points? No, I think it should be. But to just like fucking incessantly beat on a drum, especially today of all days, it's like, Jesus, shut up. You know what I mean? Next thing I'll hear is that Bigfoot fucking was kicking the side of the building, and that's what made it fall down.
Yeah.
But
what do you think, Steph?
What do you think, Steph?
I kind of believe in the standard story a lot. I think that if you look at a lot of either natural disasters, look at Hurricane Katrina, right? Like what went on there? I think negligence or panic really set in and caused a lot more problems than had to be.
Yeah,
it had to handle it. They knew what was in those buildings. They knew the dangers people were going into. Mm-hmm. It was a state of panic, and I think that just kind of shows humanity. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways. And then what's your natural reaction? Cover it up. Try to cover your traces on it. But I definitely think that those buildings could go down from planes smashing into it, and like I said, I don't know what happened.
That's what happened.
I know people died for no good reason.
Yeah,
and so that's the only thing that I really personally care about. Right, is that a lot of loss of life for really no reason.
Yeah, it's made me a staunch fucking patriot. Like I'm a staunch patriot. Like, we'll get into won't get into it too deep, but the kneeling during the national anthem in the fucking NFL, that makes me want to fucking punch somebody. That shit. And then these fucking assholes get on the internet and they talk about it. And I get it that it's their right, but fuck, man. You know what? I mean, figure out something else to fucking do, man. You make fucking, what's the league minimum? What's the league minimum for a guy in fucking NFL now?
$350,000.
You make $350,000 fucking dollars a fucking year playing a fucking goddamn game. And all we ever see is the flashy side of things. You know what I mean? You want to make a fucking change, go to fucking Chicago, the whole fucking league, go to Chicago and fucking talk to the gang members and organized crime and tell these motherfucking kids to stop shooting each other. How about that? You want to do something. You know what I'm saying? You want to do something effective. That kneeling shit don't... Fuck Colin Kaepernick. You heard it here first. Fuck that motherfucker. I said it. Fuck him. What's he know about oppression?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying. When he lived in a gated fucking community, for fuck's sake.
I just have a hard time with.
Fuck that guy.
I'm more of a libertarian, where like you do you. You
and
know what I mean?
Do me. Yep. I mean, I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Like, it's hard for me on both ends of it because I think some people go way too far this way, and some people go way
too far the other way. Yeah.
I do see some of his points. Like, I do see some, but I think the way he goes about it
is wrong.
I think he was doing it for pussy.
Yeah.
You know, like his girlfriend was kind of talking in his ear, telling him what to say, what to do. I don't personally find him a very good representation of what he's trying to do.
Me either.
And like, you know,
hey, listen, if Adam Pac-Man fucking Jones was kneeling and doing all this shit, I'd be on board. But not fucking Colin Kaepernick. You didn't give a fuck about nothing until you started dating that fucking broad. You know what I mean? You're fucking disrespecting police officers as a whole is the same thing as disrespecting black people as a fucking whole. There's no fucking difference. You can't have it one way or not the other. You know what I'm saying? Judging a group by one part of its whole is fucking wrong. Period. No matter if it's judging all cops by the action of a few cops, or judging black people by the actions of a few black people, or judging white people by the actions of a few white people is fucking wrong. You know what I mean? One wrong does not fucking make a right. You know, two wrongs don't make a right is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You can't have it both ways. If you want tolerance, you gotta fucking exercise tolerance. You can't just be like, I want tolerance, fuck Whitey and fuck the police. That's fucking bullshit.
I got one. I don't have much to say because I am in 100% agreement with you, TJ. What is your opinion? I know what mine is of trying to erase our history by pulling down statues and stuff like that.
I think it's a fucking empty gesture to silence the masses. That's what I think it is.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't feel like it does. I mean,
and I got
trying to change Faneuil Hall, the name of that, because he owned slaves at one point.
Yeah.
If you go back far enough, everyone was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
At one point in time, based off of how things go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Even are you gonna tear everything down? Like, what are you gonna do? At what point are you gonna be happy with what's going on?
Right. You can't necessarily, and I know this is going to come off and sound weird, but you can't whitewash, air quotes, whitewash fucking history and like it didn't fucking happen. Okay?
Yep.
I got news for all you fucking democratic fucking retards out there. You liberal fucking left-wing fucking nut jobs. The KKK was founded by the Democratic Party. Those motherfuckers were all Democrats. So let's get that out there right now. You know what I'm saying? The Civil War was not just fought over fucking slavery. That wasn't what they were warring about. That was one of the finer points, but that's not what it was all about. You know what I'm saying? To go through and systematically remove Southern history because of the battle flag of the South was a rebel flag has been carried around by a bunch of sister fucking rednecks that walk around in fucking sheets all day, isn't fair to not only you, but it's not fair to your children, no matter what color their skin is. Those who forget their history are doomed to fucking repeat it. And I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but we went the last, up until 2000 or so, we went 20, 25 fucking years to where it was like we were getting to a happy medium in this country, to where we were just starting to get past all of that decisive fucking bullshit, where we were all coming. I mean, you know, Aerosmith and Run DMC were fucking on MTV together. You know what I'm saying? You know, people, the MTV generation, my generation, we were just all homies. It didn't matter what color we were. You know what I mean? We were just all buddies. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? We didn't argue about stupid ass shit like that. Now it's to a point where everyone is on. We have never been more divided than we are right now. We have never been more divided than we are right now. Even when North was fighting against South, brother was fighting against brother. You know what I mean? Uncle fighting against fucking nephew. You know what I'm saying? Even back then, we have never been more divided than we are right now as a country. We are divided, and it's a sad thing. We need an alien invasion. We need an alien invasion of Bigfoots to come down to unite us as a country. You heard it here first.
One thing I want to say is I agree with you again 100%. The division is huge, and I am trying to be open-minded enough to where if somebody had a legitimate point that is opposite my beliefs, I would listen to it and try to rationally say, I understand where you're coming from, and I respect your opinion. But the opposite, these fucking left-wing people that are so left they don't even have a fucking right-hand turn signal in their car, okay, come out with the stupidest shit I have ever... I mean, I'm like, you people are fucking educated?
It's not based in logic at all. I mean, even these fucking... These people that represent us, these that have leaned so far left now that I don't even... They're like fucking communists. You know what I mean? Socialists, fucking... I mean... You got Jim Carrey saying we need to adopt socialism. All right, fucko, then kick all your money and all your property into the pot and then shut the fuck up. It's called lead by example. And until you're willing to lead by example, shut your fucking mouth. Because I guarantee you Jim Carrey lives on a compound behind a fucking wall.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
With armed guards. There's 100%. You got to get through security to see that motherfucker. He don't live next door to Joe Blow. I can tell you that much right now. All these fucking motherfuckers. I'm going to Canada if Trump gets elected. All of them are still here enjoying that America healthcare. So I ain't trying to hear that shit neither. Just, you can be contrary and you can stand up for what you believe in without being a fucking cunt. And you can also, but what they're trying to do and say makes half the shit don't even make sense.
I try to say, how are you even coming up with that? And then you're believing in that. To me, these douchebags from The View, Rosie O'Donnell, all them they were all the ones saying they're leaving. None of the three of us have the ability
to leave.
Okay. To pick up and go to another country and lead a comfortable life for the rest of our lives.
They can.
All those people I just mentioned do.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're all still here spewing their hatred and their bullshit.
Right. Well, so you know what gets me is a lot, and this is the one that really chaps my ass the most. They're like recently that terrorist camp where they were training kids to fucking shoot up shit and all that stuff. Yeah. They fucking let that guy go.
Yeah. Yeah.
They let that guy go. I mean, and this is people, and I've got nothing against the Muslim religion, but I mean, if you are in a religion where you can fucking stone a woman to death because she shows her fucking face, that's a fucking problem, man. You know what I mean? That's a fucking problem. That's not progressive. That's not empowering fucking women when you know what I'm saying? It's their religion, and that's cool, but it's by the liberal view of things that shouldn't be cool with them, but it seems like, well, they don't have no problem. It's like really picky and choosy, and I don't like that. That's why I get on Tim about the Bible. He's always whacking me over the head with the Bible. It's like, listen, if Jonah did not fucking live in a whale, and women were not made out of rib bones magically, and were talked into shit from a talking snake, then you gotta be a little more fucking objective about things. You gotta have an open mind here. I have an open mind.
Religion always had its come to moment.
Yeah.
At least in the United States.
Yeah.
If you look at Catholic Church got held to the fire. It should get held worse.
Oh.
What's going on? But, I don't really hear a lot of people defending the Catholic Church.
Right.
What's going on is wrong. And I think the same thing needs to happen in this country with a few other religions. I'm not going to pile on.
Yeah, Christianity is one of them.
On the Muslim religion, because I really don't know a shit ton about it. But this country's religious freedom, but you don't get to impose your beliefs on somebody else.
Yes, and I feel like
law decisions like that.
I feel like
do what you want to do.
There needs to be a clear separation of church and state, and that's not what's happening right now. Religion, this is what's wrong with religion. It does not fit into modern society. And people are like, oh, well, that's what's wrong with it. No, that's not what's wrong. Fucking, there are just as many fucking crazy Baptist motherfuckers as there are Muslim motherfuckers out there. I got news for you. It doesn't matter. There's for every crazy Muslim guy that wants to kill all the infidels, there's fucking an equal share of Catholic guys wanting to touch little boys. Straight up. And for every fucking Catholic priest that wants to touch a boy, there's fucking tons of crazy fucking Baptists wanting to let rattlesnakes bite them on the face and shit so they can live and show you the power of Jesus. And for every one of those guys, there's one of those guys on TV that can heal the people that are sick and that can make people walk again. There's crazy all over the place. Crazy's crazy. We need to get that away from us.
Do you know what has killed more people than famine, disease, or anything else?
Religion.
Religion.
Religious belief.
Yep.
No question. Yep. Yeah. Fuck,
yep.
Man. The Crusades. The Crusades. Look, I mean, the Christians, the Crusades. Well, like, we don't talk about the Crusades. They fucking killed everybody. They aired everybody out. They went Genghis Khan. I'd like to do a podcast about Genghis Khan one time. You guys ever read do any like?
Listen, 1 out of every 10 people are related to Genghis Khan.
Yeah, I mean that's how much dick Genghis Khan was slinging. 1 out of every 10 people has some Genghis Khan blood in him because he was slinging the dick.
Was he a porn star?
He killed so many people. Listen, he killed so many people that if you go back and look at the carbon dating record, he actually changed the CO2 factor on the globe because of how many fucking people he killed.
He must have had a big one, huh?
Hey, it's Genghis Khan.
I fucking hate Mark Tanner. Hey, let's do farts. Let's do farts, Mark. Mark, let's do farts in the microphone, Mark.
Oh, shit.
Well, I don't know, guys, but I think we went all over the place on this one. Is there anything you guys want to cover before we go?
Yeah, I got one more beef.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's fucking roast this beef.
No. If I have to hear from that motherfucker standing there screaming, impeach 45, impeach 45. If you go to a gas station and you see motherfucker up there, you get in their face. If you go to the Walmart, you get in their face. If they eat dinner with their family, you get in their face. That bitch needs to be punched in the fucking head. Yeah, end of story.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, if I wouldn't wear one of those hats because they're fucking lame. But if I had a hat on that said "Make America Great Again," or I have a T-shirt that I wear out in public that's got an American flag on the back and it says in big white letters, "Try standing on this one." That's just me. I mean, in a way, I guess I'm looking for trouble, but I'm telling you, that's just my way of saying give it a try. You know, give it. Yep. I'll shoot your ass till you catch fire. Yeah, boy. Or I'll beat the shit out of you. One of the two. My new album's dropping in September. It's called "I'll Beat Your Ass, Bitch." You guys might like it. Hey, listen, man. America is full of opportunity. It's full of good people, and it's unfortunately it gets a fucking bad rap. A lot of people that live here are fucking cunts. They're twatty. They're fucking over opinionated. They are. I said opinionated. Speaking of there's Joe. Hey Joe, man. I hope you're fucking safe from that fucking hurricane, you crazy bastard.
Yeah, 300 gallons of water. I got 12 cans of Skoal here. We got generators. We're putting some shutters up.
Mr. A, fucking
sounds like an even more redneck of like Bill.
Fuck. Listen, Mark's dude. I love it when Mark does people. He does everybody. It's so good. If anybody knew the amount of impressions that Mark Tanner does in private, you guys would shit your pants.
Well, here's the thing. Just remember this, guys. What do they say? An impression is the highest form of flattery. So yeah. it's.
We're not picking on you, Joe. We're not picking on you, Joe.
But I will say this, Joe, and everybody in the Carolinas. I know we haven't had a 150-mile-an-hour come through here since Andrew, and I've seen the results after Andrew in Miami because I lived down that way.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to be praying for all you guys.
Yes,
and anything you need.
Positive vibes, man.
Yeah, I can tell you this. For me, we had Gene and Francis back to back in a 6-week period. And it was very straining if you're a small business owner, such as myself and most of you out there. Window cleaning will shut down for a month and a half to 2 months. It does, because though you have your cleanups to do, though you have to wait till you can get out after you're done with your family and helping your neighbors, okay, nobody's looking for you to clean their windows, okay?
That's the last thing on their list.
Yeah, nobody's ready to pay you either, because they have 1,000 other things that are more important.
Right.
So, look, I had to make a 3 or 4 person payroll to keep my guys afloat, producing absolutely nothing. Okay, and it's tough. So I really, hopefully this thing loses some power, because 140 mile an hour for 12 to 14 hours is fucking brutal.
Yeah,
it is.
I can't fucking imagine, man. Our hearts and thoughts are with you, Joe, and everyone else that's out there in the Carolinas that's listening to this, and Virginia for that matter. That's a fucked up situation there, man. Really fucked up situation.
I really hope that downgrades.
And I bet you a fucking $1 to a bag of fucking donuts. Nobody will care whether they're libertarian, Republican, Democrat, white, black, Chinese, fucking yellow, brown, purple, green. It won't fucking matter after that happens, because everyone's going to be helping everybody, and that's what it boils down to, man. So you know, unless you're fucking Chris Lambernides or Kevin the window cleaner, then fuck you guys. No, I'm just kidding. I'd help Chris out. I help Chris out, but not Kevin.
For 30%.
For 30%.
Yeah, on top.
Yeah. No, come on, man. I'm charitable. I would never do that. Like 15%.
Yeah. I understand.
I'll tell you what.
I understand.
Yeah, if any of you guys up in the Carolinas have horsehair brushes, after this hurricane, you're going to need them, because that's what we use down here from all the debris. I mean, it looks like a bomb went off in your neighborhood, and it's not fun.
I can't imagine 140 mile an hour winds for 12 hours straight.
Well, see, yeah, that's the thing. You guys have tornadoes up there, right, TJ? I think we spoke about this.
Occasionally, yeah.
See, the thing with the tornado is, they can pretty much spring up relatively quick, and then they take a path and they destroy everything in its path. A hurricane, you're sitting there watching TV, and you're just waiting for it to start happening.
Right.
And then again, like I said, a tornado, it can be stronger than 150 miles an hour easily. Picks up trucks and throws them another town.
Well, I can tell you this: the hurricanes that blow through and go up, when they travel up through the states. Just the aftermath of the weather systems, like we just had one this past weekend, dropped almost fucking 3 inches of rain in a weekend. Yeah. That right there, that fucked all kinds of shit up here. I can only imagine if it was like on the coast and we were getting hammered by the direct hit of that. Because like 3 or 4 years ago we had one. It was fucking, the wind came through. It was the remnants of a hurricane come through the Gulf. And it ripped fucking roofs off the fucking off houses up here and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that was just for a couple of days, and it was mild in comparison. I mean, fuck. I can't imagine, man. I can't imagine. And that situation, I don't know how close to the coast Joe is or whatever, but fuck, man. I mean, if you are in the direct path of that, man, get the fuck out of there, dude. You know what I mean? Fuck me. That's scary, dude.
Yeah, this is Bill Pierce with North Carolina News. Excuse me, sir. What are you doing out here wearing that beautiful hat? Well, I'm just out here surveying for some window cleaning here. If you guys need any good squeegee action going, I got 4 guys just ready to go here. And we got plenty of beer and plenty of water back at the house. And I got a couple hats for you guys, too. Come on over and get a hat.
Oh my God! The first time he did that, he goes, "I want to do a Joe impression for you." I'm like, "Okay," and it was like, I'm a fucking spot on. I was like, "Dude, holy fucking shit!" I know he did it the other day, and fucking Joe was about to piss his pants in the comments. He's like, "I've never fucking laughed so hard in my whole life." You're so good at the impressions, man. You are so good at that.
Certain voices that I hear, I know I can easily do, and I have to work on them a little bit, but
right.
Yeah.
This is a 50-year-old man that farts in the shower and practices people's voices.
Well, I will say this: if laughter and joy keep you alive longer, I got a ways to go. Because I laugh all day.
Yeah.
And I can see a joke in a lot of things that probably aren't funny.
Right.
And I get in trouble for that sometimes. But,
I'm the same way. Yeah. Well, I tell you, man, it's a long, tough road to hoe if you can't fucking smile and have a good time, man. You know what I mean? And that's what this is all about, is us having a good time. I especially hope Joe doesn't take any offense to Mark, giving him a little ribbon there. We're just thinking about you and, just needed a little chuckle there. So we figured maybe you like that,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Go to www.outlawwindowcleaner.com. Get you some Black Diamond squeegee rubber. Get you some Outlaw Window Cleaner t-shirts. What else do we sell? I don't know. We're going to be selling some other shit. Wait until after the grand opening of the Reach It store. You guys are going to see some world exclusive shit from Outlaw Window Cleaner. You guys are going to be like, whoa, bro. So, look out for, we're going to do a little road documentary about going there, hanging out with the fellas, and then coming back. Should be fucking exciting.
Hey, TJ, what are you driving?
I'm going to get a rental.
You're going to get a rental? So you're going to get a car with four doors?
I think so, because I don't want to put fucking 1,600 miles on the F-150, dude.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think that due to the fact that you're going to do this as a documentary and you're going to take Tim across the country, I say you do it this way. You get yourself one of those hats, right, like a beret, and you put the GoPro up on the dash. I know you're good about whatever kind of camera because I've watched your videos. And you put Tim in the back seat, and it'll be like driving Miss Daisy, okay? And Tim is obviously going to be Mrs. Daisy.
Yeah.
And you guys should really do that because that would be freaking
I need to work on my Morgan Freeman, though, don't I? Do a little Morgan Freeman. Do a little Morgan Freeman for us.
It's going to make me laugh. I can't do it if I'm laughing.
You can't do Morgan
You're going
Freeman.
down the road and DJ's driving along. I'm a grown man, Miss Daisy. My bladder's full. I got to drop water.
Dude, he does this fucking Shawshank Redemption fucking narration to me sometimes. And dude, I shit you not, dude. You close your eyes, you'll think it's fucking Morgan Freeman. It's so fucking hilarious,
like
dude.
the whole Andy Dufresne thing. I remember the first
time. Yes, dude, it's so fucked up. Dude, I wish one of these days, what I need to do is I need to start this is the thing I can't figure. Anybody's listening to this, if somebody can figure out how you could take voice messages from fucking Facebook, the Facebook voice messages, and fucking store them, please tell me, because I could come out with some of the dopest fucking videos ever if I just take Mark's fucking impressions. Dude, his impressions are fucking hilarious. What?
Could you copy them if I send them to you in voice? Can I voice text them to you instead of the message?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a MacBook? Would you have any recording stuff for record GarageBand or anything like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how we're doing this.
I think you might be able to import that into GarageBands and kind of mess with that.
Oh, really?
People do that. I've seen people do that.
Okay. Well, then I'll have to tinker around with it a little bit then. Maybe because I'm on a Mac right now. I'm on a.
And you can put a beat on it. And Arts go to the beat.
Dude, his Beavis and Butthead fucking shit. The other day, me and fucking Jeremy were fucking howling. This dude was, it got better when he couldn't hold it together because he started talking about Henry. Henry smashing that Boab with a fucking axe, and he just couldn't hold it together, man. It was so funny. He's like, God damn it, I can't stop laughing. Dude, Henry is fucking hilarious, man. Yeah, I don't really want Henry to show up because that motherfucker scares the shit out of me, man. Yeah. That big old giant fucking hills have eyes looking ass motherfucker. Got the motherfucker got a trunk full of weaponry. You know what I mean? We're all gonna be strung up and fucking skewered and shit.
Yeah. Who the fuck brought Shrek here?
Yeah. Shrek.
donkey.
Hey, donkey. Well, guys, that was Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio. Thanks for coming back on, Seth. We'd like to have you on as much as you'd like to be on. You know that. So anytime you want to come on, just let me know. And this is a standing invitation to any window cleaners out there. If you've got an hour, it doesn't even have to be 2 hours. I know we do 2-hour episodes. It could be a half hour. Send me a PM. You want to come on the show? We'll have you on the show. Shit. I mean, what do you guys think? You guys want to have Chris Lambrinides on?
I would actually enjoy that.
Yeah,
no, I would.
Yeah.
I actually feel like he's a pretty intelligent guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a smart dude. Definitely a smart dude. Chris, if you want to come on, we'll have you on, buddy. We'll keep the gloves on.
TJ.
Before I lose my thought, listen, wait, before I lose my thought, and I hold on to yours. This is a standing invitation to any window cleaner out there, business owner, window cleaner that wants to come on the podcast. Reach out to me at asktSqueegee@yahoo.com or hit me up on Facebook, and we'll get you on, and we'll do an interview with you. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. No, here's the only point, and I'm not including you in this, Seth, because I don't know you well. And I know TJ for some time now, but in watching the way you speak and in your videos and what you believe to be funny and what I believe to be funny, I knew that we didn't need to ever shake hands to be good friends. Mm-hmm. Okay. But somebody, and I'm not saying Chris is this way, coming on would be very intimidating to someone who can't, like, I don't care what you say. I know how to defend myself verbally and either turn it into a joke or whatever, or let it roll off. It's all good. Right. But somebody who doesn't have that wit would be very intimidated to come on here. And I think that, honestly, he would be treated very respectfully.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I think that would, you know, bridge a little bit of a gap and might actually make relation a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, we ain't gotta like what we're doing, and we ain't gotta like what he's doing, but at least we could be civil and at least, you know, as a community, as a window cleaning community, stop fucking throwing shots over the bow. I know Chris doesn't do anything directly, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that he's a puppet master or anything, but he's got guys in his camp that ain't afraid to say shit, and they say shit all the time, you know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, I'm not saying, you know, whatever's whatever, but, you know, I'm not saying that anything's out of the scope. I'm not saying, Chris, come on here so we can fucking roast you.
Dude, if Joe can get Elon Musk on his show, I think you can get Chris Lambrinides on.
Right. This is the thing. We've proven. And just recently, as a matter of fact, and even in some of the beginning episodes, when we were just savages and cavemen on here, like with Kerry Gunther, we can conduct ourselves in the proper manner if need be. You know what I'm saying? But if it's just the fellas on here, the Outlaw Window Cleaner gang, we're going to get greasy like we get greasy. Chris Lambrinides comes on, or fucking Kevin the Window Cleaner, somebody like that. I would never give that dude the platform. But Chris Lambrinides wanted to come on. I'd even allow Luke to be on here. I'd probably roast Luke, though. I'd fucking light his ass on fire. I'm gonna be honest with you. Luke would not want to come on here with me because I'd go scorched earth on that dude. But Chris, I'd have Chris on and we could have a civil discussion.
At least Chris runs a business.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What does Luke do?
Or any of those motherfuckers are doing, but
Luke runs a business, but he's a fucking twat. That dude is such a snake.
Is he the part-time guy?
No. Kevin's the part-time guy. Luke, the window cleaner, is like the most popular YouTube window cleaner there is. He's got like 6,000 subscribers. Like everything. He's got droves and droves of fans. Everyone, like everything he buys, everybody goes out and buys it. It's like the best thing ever. And he's then
if that's the case, he should have the confidence to come on.
He will not come on here with me. He doesn't even recognize me. Dude, I have shit on that dude. Like wholesale. Everyone knows how much I shit on that dude. He has never one time called me on the phone and cussed me out for 30 fucking minutes. He don't do that shit to T Squeege because he knows I don't play that shit. And if he gives me any kind of nod, he's only fucking solidifying me. That's all he's doing. So he don't want to fuck with me. That's all it is. That's why he does not respond to anything I say, because once he responds, he knows it's on like Donkey Kong. Yeah. I light you up.
Are you saying you don't play well with others?
I play perfectly fine with others, but what he did to Tim was a straight up hoe ass bitch ass fucking move. Straight up. What he did to Tim's YouTube channel is something a bitch would do. What Luke the window cleaner did to Tim and his window cleaning channel is that happened. That's a dude that ain't never had been punched in his mouth his whole life. That dude ain't never been in a fight. Every time somebody had a crossword from me, he ran to his mom and hid in the closet, or fucking went and hid in his grandma's basement. Whatever the fuck it is, that dude has not settled a conflict in his life, man to man, ever. Not ever. I've heard him. Yeah. I've heard voice recordings of the way he talks to people in video or Facebook Messenger. He doesn't realize the shit that I'm privy to. He is a fucking cunt. That dude is a bitch, straight up. I'll brick in your mouth. I know Perry's like, oh, we gotta be nice to everybody because Luke might come to my grand opening. Luke comes to your grand opening, I'm shitting in his mouth in front of everybody.
He ain't coming.
No,
he ain't coming.
Because if he comes, I'm gonna roast him. I'm gonna fucking roast him. I'm gonna tell him to his face that he's a bitch. What he did to Tim and Tim's channel is a straight up fucking bitch move. Straight up bitch.
I watched Tim's video about how it happened, and that's fucked up.
If you read and Tim, you go to the Outlaw Window Cleaner YouTube channel. You watch that video that Tim put up. He shows you the messages from Luke Stenner. It shows you straight up what the fuck that dude did to Tim. He's a fucking dirtbag. Yeah. You gift this guy a fucking intro for his YouTube channel, and then when he starts roasting you, instead of roasting him back, you go the schoolgirl route and go and fucking tell the principal. Well, guess what, bitch? I used to steal motherfuckers' lunch money like you in high school. You little bitch-ass bitch. You little hoe-ass bitch. I'll pull your fucking underwear up over your head, you little bitch, and give you a wedgie, and then give you a swirly right after. I ain't got nothing bad to say about his wife, though. I like Rihanna. I like her. I think she's cool. When she's in the video, she could just tell. You could tell she's like not impressed by any of this shit. You know what I mean? She's always like, oh yeah. Here we go with another one of Luke's videos. She's like, I just want to clean windows and go home, dick.
I guess everybody's different, but like my wife works in the office, okay, and she's kind of joked around many times. You need to teach me how to clean windows so I go out and pick up work. And I'm like, you're not going out on the street like I do. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
You know, your strength is in the office and dealing with people and sending out invoices.
You're a woman. You need to be barefoot in my kitchen making me sandwiches, woman. Take care of the books before I slap you upside the head.
Would you want your wife, girlfriend, or significant other doing the same thing you do with you all day long? I wouldn't. I
don't know, Eddie Stewart. Is she not man enough to clean windows?
Well, I'll tell you what. That girl climbs up a ladder, and I tell her to take a few extra steps so I could stand down there and look at her meatloaf.
Jesus Christ. That right there was Eddie Stewart.
Yeah.
Eddie, no, that's what Eddie Stewart sounds like literally.
Does he?
Yes.
That's
yes.
amazing.
Sounds just like
Eddie,
him.
I told this to TJ. It's the God honest truth. We're going to get him on here, and he knows I've told him. He's not going to be offended. When he called me the first time with the glass issue he had, I had to take the phone away from my ear and put it on speaker and go, am I talking to either Mr. Anderson, Hank Hill, or Eddie Stewart? Because this motherfucker is, and he's got that slow Texas.
Tim, fucking Mark has he's like Adam. He's like, no, dude, he sounds just like him. He sounds just like him.
Well, have him on here.
I can't wait. The only thing is Eddie is, when it comes to females and cleaning windows, Eddie does not have a lot of. He's like, oh well, he's always like, if it's a girl, it's like girls can't do things. You know what I mean? And that's not cool. My old lady does not like that shit.
Funny about Eddie? I added him to a group.
Isn't he the guy that was butt naked on a ladder with a squeegee stuck in between his ass cheeks?
He climbed up on an A-frame ladder, naked, completely naked at his own house. And he took a squeegee, like a 12-inch brass squeegee, and he stuck it in his butt crack. And his wife took a picture, and he posted it on Pro Window Cleaning, something like, "Hey, I just got this dude cleaning windows." Or no, how's that for a squeegee holder? Something like that.
Yes! Yes! We need to get more guests on the show. So you fucking assholes listening to this, send us a fucking email. Get on the fucking show. Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This has been Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio. The sexiest man in window cleaning is getting stir crazy, so we've got to go. So for Mark Tanner and Ben Roethlisberger Light, we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Great job, guys.
Yeah, you too.